Good evening, Unique Couples community. How is everyone doing out there? Welcome to our Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. We are Vito and Linda Patrick. We are here in Freeport, Grand Bahama in the Bahamas. We just want to welcome you. And we're going to be in for a great time this evening as we have our couples conversation.
Well, usually I would say, great time, but the topic today would just kind of like make me want to not be here. So I'm going to try to sit small because they're talking about money. Yeah, they're talking about money. And as much as I love spending money, I don't necessarily like talking about money. Yeah. So if you're like me, go ahead, raise your hand. Don't be shy. Put it in the comments, put it in the chat. That's that conversation that some of us kind of tend to run away from. Um, you have to be accountable about money and all these different things about money. So we're talking about the myths that some people have, that we have, singles, as married couples, as wives and husbands, the myths that we have about money and how it's impacting our relationship. So go ahead, if you haven't invited someone yet, go ahead and let a couple know, let someone know that we're talking about
money myth busters.
Yeah, so we're gonna bust some myths about money today, and hopefully, hopefully I'll have some fun too. Yeah. Don't hurt me too much, Dad and Amanda and Johnny and Tiffany and Dan. Don't be too harsh on some of us who would definitely like to put our head in the sand and not really think about money. So don't be too hard on us, but definitely help us to kind of dispel some of these myths that we have about money. Thanks for joining us, Kathy and Lynn, and all of you are joining us live. Go ahead, put live squad in the chat. Say hello. If you love money, put money. Well, I know. Should you love money?
Show some money symbols.
Yeah, show some money. Show some dollar signs. Yeah, I don't think it's the love of money, right? Yeah, y'all help us out. Yeah, the love of money, right? Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead, type in there hashtag live squad, like Linda said. For those of you that'll be watching the replay, go ahead and type in hashtag replay. If you haven't subscribed to the Unique Couples YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the Unique Couples YouTube channel. You want to make sure you turn on that notification bell and select all so you can know every time we go live here at Unique Couples. So go ahead and subscribe to the Unique Couples YouTube channel.
We want to hear your questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the chat. If you have any questions, we're talking all about money and the myths and, kind of like breaking those. So go ahead and put that in the chat. And then we want to hear your takeaways as well. So put those in the chat. I see Ashley said, yes. Hi, everyone. Okay. So.
Yeah. So like I said, welcome to our couples conversation, and we're going to be in for a great time this evening. We have Thaddeus and Amanda from Fredericksburg, Virginia. We have Dan and Deborah Smith from Jacksonville, Florida. And we have Johnny and Tiffany Clark from Fort Worth, Texas.
Ooh.
Yes, so Texas in the house,
all over the place.
Virginia in the house, Florida in the house. So go ahead, Thaddeus and Amanda. Can you go ahead and tell our viewing audience a little about yourself? And then after that, it will be Dan and Deborah, and then Johnny.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Thaddeus. This is my lovely wife, Amanda.
Hello.
And we are from Fredericksburg, Virginia. We've been married for, it'll be 36 years this June.
Did he get that right this time? Did he get that right?
Yeah, he got it right. I got it right this time. And we have two sons and a pet and a dog, which is her dog, which I say is her dog. But I jokingly say it's her dog, but it's our dog.
He really means it, though, y'all.
And we're just happy to be here. Thankful to Vito and Linda for inviting us and having us on with you all tonight to talk about money.
Johnny's in the house.
Yes.
Okay. Don?
All right.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Deborah Smith.
I'm Dan Smith.
And we are, of course, from Jacksonville, Florida. We've been married for 22.
23 years.
Vito was remembering for y'all.
It's easy. 23 years in May.
Yeah.
23
And
years.
we have 4 grown children and 6 grandchildren.
Wow.
And so we are just blessed. And we're always a pleasure to for you to invite us here to share with you on these Sunday nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome,
That's awesome.
awesome.
Love
And
having you
we're
guys.
both retired, but we have other businesses.
Awesome. Yeah. Ashley said, times fly when you're having fun. Yes, 23
23
years.
years.
Congratulations on the 36 for Thad and Amanda. We love hearing your comments. Go ahead and keep them coming. Put your comments in the chat. We love it. We love it. Yes, and then we have Johnny and Tiffany.
What's going on?
Hey, family. Yes, I'm Tiffany. This is
Johnny.
And we've been married for 13 years. I got it right this time. So we like the babies out of this bunch as far as marriage.
She just asked me why we was on mute, y'all.
Why you put me out like this? See, this ain't gonna be no good. See,
We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, come on now. Why you put me out like that? But yeah, we live in Fort Worth, Texas. We've been married by 13 years. We have a goddaughter, Larisha, that we love very much, that God gave us the opportunity to take care of. And we love ministry. What you got? We got a couple of businesses.
Yeah, one of which I just came from. So we're both new pastors. We have our own ministry as well. I don't know.
It's good.
That is good.
That's good.
Great to have you. Great to have you. So I know we're talking about.
We're talking about money
Oh,
myth.
what y'all talking about?
We're talking about money myth busters. You know, people tend to not to want to talk about money, but money is very important.
Yeah.
Some people look at money as the root of all evil, but others look at money as answering all things. So money is important. We need money every day. We need money to survive. We need money to help persons. So there are all sorts of different ways that we can look at money.
Yeah.
So
True.
as it relates to money, where do you want to start?
Oh, so I think we should start with the singles. I know, like, we're talking about, and we're all about marriage, yes, but what are some of those beliefs that singles may have? And then you kind of like single, and you this is, yeah, you have these beliefs about money, and they will definitely get you stuck. So if anyone wants to share, what are some myths that singles have about money? Ooh.
I ain't been single in a long while.
Wow. Single folks, I don't know if we can help you today because we have 23 years, we have 36 years, and then this one says
years.
lucky 13.
I have a myth. I do
Wow,
have a
13,
myth.
yes, that is lovely. Oh, Ashley said, let's get this one. Ashley said, when I was single, I was taught never mix money. What does that mean? Never mix money. Ooh,
I think
that's single, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones, a myth that a lot of singles have, is that they're taught, my money is my money, your money is your money.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take it into marriage.
Yes. And then they take it into
It's good before marriage. Yeah, don't mix your money, he ain't your husband.
Right?
Yeah, don't mix that money, he ain't your husband.
Go ahead, Tiffany. We didn't have that.
Oh, don't mix the money if that's not your husband, if that's not your wife. Now that's correct. But when you get married, it's different.
That's true.
Don't mix the money, you ain't married. Don't mix it.
Oh, it's been a long while. It's been a long time. Yes.
Yeah.
Another myth for singles is your tax burden or your tax will increase once you get married.
Yeah. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's definitely
that's good.
Yes. What about debt? How does that work? When you are single, you may have a debt, and then you get married.
Yeah, I think that I was thinking along the lines is my credit rating don't really matter. You know, I can do what I want, spend what I want because it's money And if I want to go in debt, I can go in debt. It's not going to affect anyone or impact on anyone. But then when you enter into a relationship and you're getting married with someone and you bring that bad credit along with you, that kind of, I think, hinders you financially as a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's definitely something, because you get so used to living just thinking about yourself and not really thinking about the future that you would neglect, not realize the impact it will have on you, on your marriage, or on someone else that you connect with. So that is definitely so. Singles, hope you listen. We are going into wives now. Let's go. Any myths that wives have, you think, that need to be busted?
Yeah.
I should do my wives. Yeah, I'm scared. I think I'm gonna leave.
You have one?
One is that if your spouse has a retirement fund, you don't need one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Do you need one though? Like, if your spouse
Absolutely.
needs one?
Yes.
Yes.
So you need one. Like, why do you need one? Like, why do you need one? Like, someone would be like,
it depends on what type you have, because and some of them, when your spouse dies, then that retirement might go away. It may not be one that you have, depending on how you set it up. When he dies, that fund may it's over, zero. So you don't have anything to live off of. And he may go first, and you were living off his retirement, but now you have no retirement. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you have no funds.
Yeah, that's good.
And then as you get older, your expenses get more because you probably have more medical bills or whatever. So while you were newly retired, your that one income may have been sufficient, but he may have been ill while he was still alive. And then that costs a lot of money, expenses. And that ate up, maybe some savings that you had. So now you're by yourself. And if you don't have anything, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's good. I done. Go ahead.
I think when we talk with couples, I think there are like things that we ask them about how they view money. And so I think for a woman, and maybe some men too, we view money as security, because it can help us, as you said, it appropriately so at the very beginning, about money answereth all things. The scripture tells us that it answers all things. So you can use money to just about you can use money to get you anything you want. I just put it like that. You can use money to get you anything you want. Now, the flip side of that is that everything that you want may not be good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to be wise about how we use our money.
Yeah.
And even as women, when we're seeking to have that security, financial security, we can't just latch on to a relationship because we think a person is going to give us that financial security that we're looking for. But in actuality, they're not good for us either. So I think that's
knowledge. Yeah.
Even like with the credit scores, you were talking earlier about, I'm single, so I can just do anything, so I don't have to pay my bills on time. I can overspend. When I get married, we're just going to have one credit score, and that's not true.
Yeah.
When you get married, you still have your individual credit scores. Now, when you go in to purchase something together or something major, they look at both of your credit scores, but you have your single credit score. You can go up there and mess it up if you want to.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Yes, lots of
having I would say hiding an account from your spouse. I know some women think that that's the best way to do things, like having a separate stash, like when they want to go shopping and stuff.
It's not.
No, I wouldn't do that because that could cause problems, like trust issues.
Yeah.
That's something I wouldn't do. I mean, it's okay to have 3. I think it's okay to have 3 separate accounts, or 4 actually. because we have some separate accounts. Because
We got too many
I have
accounts.
a petty cash account where I spend what I want to spend money on. Then we have our joint account together. We have our savings account, then our business accounts, but we know about each other's. We have the passwords, like there's no secrets. So I would say, because I've heard when I first got married, some women told me that, like, make sure you have a backup account. Don't have no backup account. God is my backup. So I didn't never get a backup account.
And two, I
know someone is out there going like, I don't know what she's talking about, but I have my backup account because I don't know what he is going to do, and if he is really great at, like managing money.
Yeah.
That could be something scary. Just before you go on, I see Allison said, this is a myth. Women are always better with money. That's one of the myths.
I was gonna ask that question. Who is better?
Okay, close your eyes and point.
Some people think that, I mean, that's a problem myth that most women handle money because there was a period of time, not anymore. There was a period of time where most men worked, and the women that stayed home would do most of the handling of the finances.
No, that wasn't true though.
Well, most of it, not all of it, but most of it. But nowadays, that's not the case.
We're having a slight disagreement.
What was your point, Amanda?
No, what I was about to say, men were the breadwinners. And I also think that from my experience, your experience may be different because our experiences are different. But when the men are predominant breadwinners back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even up into some 80s, when they were the primary breadwinners, the women didn't handle the money. Well, they were given a budget. I'm just saying for most of majority of them, they were kind of like given a budget of what it was for groceries and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that's why I disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
And I think we learned a little bit later on that it's better when both of us have knowledge.
Yeah, and that's the buster. I was gonna say both. You need to have knowledge of what's going on in the household finance, because we've heard of situations, especially being in the military, where one person is in the military and they're going off on the other side of the world, and the other person has no knowledge of finances, and they're the one having to deal with it. So, and that's not good. Those are not good situations. So I think in both cases, if you figure out whoever's better with the finances, but the best case is that you both are aware of where the money is at, how much is available, how to do what. For instance, both of us, we were active duty military, and there were periods of time where she was deployed or I was deployed. So if she was gone to, let's say, gone to Kuwait, or I was in Iraq, someone was back, and we needed to know what was going on. So I think it's important that both people in the relationship know what's going on with the money, know what all the accounts are, know where all the paperwork is, have a power of attorney, all that good stuff. So they'll be able to manage things that the other person is not there. But I think in both cases, because it was finicky right now, because we live in society, like I say, everybody's, like my brother said earlier, both individuals are making money. I mean, I got my money, you got your money, but how do we come together and build wealth together? Yeah. Now that we've been apart, but how do we come together and build wealth together? And those are things we have to learn. That comes in with trusting one another, putting together a financial plan for family financial plan, so we can build better for the future. So so it doesn't matter to me who's better. Both of them need to know how to handle where everything is.
Yeah, lots of great information, and we had a comment earlier from Ashley said when we're talking about the separate accounts. Separate accounts is good, but no secrets. She said she loved that.
I agree.
Yeah. Yes. And then we have another comment in the chat from Alta Marie. sometimes it's better to go through rough financial time with the right person with than to be financially stable with the wrong person.
Ooh.
That's good.
That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That is true.
I
That is true.
think that was a song, right? I'd rather have hard times with you than good times with someone else. Who sang that?
Luther Vandross.
Oh, we showing our age. Showing our time zone.
Yes.
Which-
Then couple more comments. Ashley said, "Yes, learning from each other is important. So it's important that both spouses know what's happening with the finances. It's
Yes.
important that you have that budget meeting so you
Yeah,
can know
I was just gonna
exactly
talk about that. Yeah,
what's going on,
we
and
need to have
then
that.
and being accepting of each other's habits as long as everything is taken care of.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
awesome.
definitely back to what Thaddeus and Amanda were saying, having those, like you said, budget meetings and making sure everyone is aware. So yes, you may be better with the spending and keeping account and managing the finances, but you both need to be aware of what is going on because hey, your family will depend on it, especially if you have kids. Then everyone needs to be aware of at least what to do if something happens. If there's an emergency, hey, we need to know where are these funds, what are we going to do, what do we have access to, what we have going in and coming out. All of that is definitely important. So anymore, let's talk about some more myths that we need to bust in marriage. We talked about women, right? We talked about women and wives, some of those myths. If you're watching now, we are live.
Yes, we are. Today we're talking about money myth busters.
Yes. So put it in the comments. Let us know your comments. We love. When we see them coming in, we love it. We want to hear your comments. Put it in the chat. And then, this is like the watermelon again. We'd say, take what's for you. Right?
Eat
the watermelon and spit out the seeds.
Yeah. What's working for you now in your marriage? Hey, go ahead and just kind of continue working that. If there's something that you want to change and try, go ahead and do that. But don't stay stuck. Don't stay stuck just and not getting help. Help is always available. You see all of us here as a part of that. So we talk about wives. We're going to talk about husbands now. Man and husband. What are some of the myths that they probably bring into the relationship? I don't know if we were finished with wives. Were we finished with wives? Are they finished with us? They finished with us, Tiffany?
Well, let me say one thing about wives.
Okay.
I think that we know about separate accounts. Right? We have a separate account. I'm aware of all of them. But one of the things that I love about her, whereas she always has an account for Christmas. We have grandkids, and there's nothing too expensive, nothing that she wouldn't buy for them. That's one thing about it. So when Christmas time comes, she done sent her list out 2 months in advance and ask them what they want. And all these packages start arriving. So I know it's not coming from our main account or whatever. It's coming from an account that she set aside just for Christmas.
That's good.
Awesome.
That's good.
Awesome.
Oh, take a page in Coach Deborah's book. She plans ahead. Awesome. That's great. Teamwork makes the dream work. We definitely know that. Thanks, Ashley. I think Tiffany, you were going to say something about wives as well.
No, I was.
Okay.
That's what I do for her with her petty cash account, and then with our vacations and everything that comes up, I'll take it upon myself and I let her know, hey, I'm putting this in your petty cash account because I know she like going getting massages, getting her feet and nails done. So that's just something that I'll take upon myself to do and put it over there so it won't come out of our main account. And the vacations, we both come together and be like, hey, we're going to put this set amount of money up for this, for that, or whatever we plan on doing so we know it's there. And therefore, we both know it's there. It's not like a big secret. And it's there for if we need it, we can use it and just put it back.
Awesome.
Yeah, those are all great points because it leads to planning, financial planning. And it helps you in the long run, because a lot of people will say, I can spend. I don't have to save anything. I don't have to plan for retirement and all of that. But then when you come to having emergencies, you don't have any money set aside for emergencies. So it's good. And I think men and women both could have that mindset that I can spend. I don't need to save, and so when you plan for what you need now, and you also plan for the future, it helps you along the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add, and it's not just for wives, it's for wives and husbands, and it kind of piggybacks off what that is and Amanda said earlier. But who's better at paying the bills? So let's just say it's Dan, and he's going to be responsible, and I'm going to trust him, and he's just going to handle the bills and know when things are paid, where they go, how they pay, what's on auto pay, and all of that. And he just does it, and I'm just fine, great job, and he falls dead. I don't know how to pay anything, what's been paid, where to go pay it. It's just like somebody at your job. You have some people that they just hold on to those job duties. They don't show anybody else, and then they go somewhere or something happens to them. Nobody knows what to do. So it's always good to work together. So you are better at doing it, but at least show me how the process that you're following. Are you using an Excel spreadsheet? You're using a budget tool? So I'll know how to do it as well, and allow me to do it a couple of months. So I'll be comfortable as well. I think it's a good idea.
Yes. Ashley says teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
So as we go into some of the man or the husband myth busters. So is that saying true where the husband says the money is split down the middle, 90% to her and 10% to me? Is that a true thing?
I'll let you answer that.
That's true.
Go ahead, Daniel. Start it off.
Me personally, I say no, because it's like this with us. She gives 100%, I give 100%. There's no 50-50. Because if you're doing 50-50, then there's 50% on both ends missing. So how can you 100% put your all into it? So it's 100-100. So if she's making money, I'm making money, and vice versa. If I'm making money, she's making money. So we're making money together.
Yeah, I love the fact of making money together. That's fine. I'm more into the spending, all of some of yours, most of yours too.
Yeah.
No.
I was listening to what he was saying, and I agree with what my brother said, but I'm just thinking of, because I know in this society now, you have a lot of, I live in an area with a lot of what we call professional women. A lot of professional women, they make more than their spouse. So if that husband's the head of the house, he said, people may ask, now, that may be a myth that may need to be busted. If the husband is the head of the house, then he doesn't have to ask permission to spend money or buy what he wants. But we know, for most of us, that may not be true. You might have to ask for permission. But my point is that I think with society we live in, how do men feel? Can men feel comfortable in a relationship and feel comfortable in a house if the spouse is making more money? And how do they feel? How can they overcome any insecurities that they have?
Yeah.
And I think the one thing, if that's the case, one thing that can happen, if it all depends on how the spouse treats them.
Yeah.
Right.
If the spouse acts like she, she got, I make the money. If that's what she's saying, then it's gonna be a hard time. But if she understands that, yes, he's the head of the household. Doesn't matter how much money I make. That's the role that he plays. The role that he plays in the house. He's the priest and king of the house. Then we're gonna go by that. It's not about how much money I make.
Yeah, that's honor and respect.
So I'm gonna honor, respect him, regardless who makes the most money. It's an honor and respect him as my husband. It doesn't matter whether I bring him or my brother said, we bring it in together. It's all going in one pot. I often tell a story. When we was in the military, one time my wife, she outranked me. And it was a guy that came and he asked me a question one time. He said, "This bothering you now? You know your wife, she outranks you." And I never really thought about it when they asked me a question. I said, "It don't bother me. We got a joint account." It don't bother me. It don't bother me. So I mean, that was my attitude. I never really, maybe I'm wired like that. I'm not wired. Maybe most people are not wired. Well, she make more money than me, but it didn't bother me because we had a joint account. So I'm enjoying the blessings of what's going. And I wasn't insecure about it. About it. So I think, especially in society, we have a lot of professional women, and they'll make their six figures. They're making more money than men. So I think in those situations, there has to be some conversations in that household around. Like my brother said, this is for us together. It's not about one person being over the other, or one person making more money. It's about us having a relationship together and building together for the future. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ramble on.
That's good. That's good.
That was really good. Yeah, because that definitely is an issue, right?
Yes.
Couples are navigating through and missing that point about the still respecting and loving. It doesn't matter how much the person makes. I love that. The money is going in a joint account, right? We have a joint account. Like, it's going to benefit us. So bring on the money, baby. Bring on the money.
Yes.
Both of you. So don't let the insecurities kind of like become the issue in your relationship, when the issue is, both of you loving and caring for each other, as opposed to allowing these, money and all these other stuff to cause a wedge to happen between you. Yeah. So
I think it ultimately goes back down to what Amanda said too. It's a respect thing, because there was a time where Tiff made more money than I did, but we never looked at it that way because
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, because we both we doing this together. It's more division between the two of us. We're just trying to accomplish this one goal, and that's provide for our household. So I didn't look at it that way. Neither did she. We both respected each other for what we did. Yeah. So
we worked together. It was for us. It was for the family.
Yeah. I think that's a key thing sometimes that couples miss, is that they're not looking at it as it's what's best for our relationship, what's best for our marriage, what's best for our future together, instead of what's in it for me right now. We've talked with multiple couples, and we're not saying anything's wrong with having separate bank accounts. We're not saying that. We're saying what worked for us to make sure that we stayed unified and together was having that joint account. And we do have some other additional accounts, but we have access to all of them. And we have one place where we can go and just see what's all there, right? But we have some couples, this is my money, this is my money, this is his money. I'm gonna do it from the male-female perspective. And what I'm bringing in, that's what I'm bringing in, and I'm gonna use this, what I'm bringing in to take care of this, this, and this, and you use your money to take care of this, this, and this. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but then the question becomes, what are you doing with the money really that you're bringing in when bills are not being paid? When something, we don't have money for groceries, or we don't have money to take care of our children, what's being done with the money that's being brought in? And we've had to coach a couple of couples through how to come up with a financial plan and to see things a little differently, instead of saying, this is for me, myself, and I, and this is for us together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it does. Because like you would have said, there's nothing wrong with having these separate accounts, but at the same time, you want to make sure that your spouse still has access to it. Because let's say I have an account and Linda doesn't have access to it. If I'm sick in the hospital and I cannot get funds off of that account, and if Linda doesn't have access to it, and if she doesn't have any funds, what's going to happen to me in the hospital?
Yeah.
Or what could have happened to Linda at home when she don't have access to the funds?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's important for couples that you make sure, like Johnny said earlier, it's 100-100. You want to make sure both of you are on the same page. You want to make sure you're communicating. So if something was to happen, at least the other spouse knows exactly what to do or what needs to happen. So I love the conversation. Great conversation we're having.
And I like to pick up back on what Thaddeus and Amanda said. I mean, and Johnny, you know, I've never had a problem with. I guess me and Deborah, when we first married, we probably running equally on for salaries. But after a while, you know, we both got in 6 digits, and when she became that senior director, then she skyrocketed and went way past me. But that didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact, you know, is the fact that everything in the household was taken care of.
Mhm.
You know, no late bills or whatever, and you know,
Exactly.
and what we need, if we need something, a big ticket item, we discuss it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, also we have a tendency, I don't know, I guess something maybe we need to do. We have money put in the hole in the house, and it might be in the file cabinet, might be in a book. I don't know where it is.
That's a rainy day fund there.
Yeah,
That's a rainy day money.
But we need somebody to tell, hey, look in the drawer. You got it sitting there. And she might tell, oh, you can look in the book, get that. So
I had mine in a Nike shoebox.
Oh boy.
Oh, geez. Yeah, but it's important that everyone knows and
Like
everyone is on the same page. So even if they decide, you know, couples decide that they want to have separate accounts, like, you know, discuss that, you know, be open with that and, you know, communicate about that and make sure you're on the same page and plan for contingencies, like if something were to go wrong, you know, what to do and how to get past that, especially if the person doesn't have access, like Vito said, to the accounts. That may be something you want to do. Okay, so we talk about singles, we talk about women and wives, and we talk about husbands, right? Yeah. So couples as a whole, what are some of those myths that they have? And before we go into talking about the couples, I know we're getting ready to wrap up soon too. But I want to go back to single, not in terms of, you know, just not being married and stuff, but just even as someone just having your own thoughts, you know, we have our own thoughts, right? Sometimes we may get an experience or believe that there is lack. There's not enough money. There's not enough money, you know, in our family, in the world. So we compete for these resources or don't think that we can even have it as a family, as a couple. And I think that is something that definitely needs to be busted, where we think just in terms of lack instead of thinking of, you know, like the other day, I wanted to get something. I wanted to do something. It was not a part of the budget. It was nowhere. And it was just something that came out of the blue. And instead of saying, well, I can't afford it, I asked myself, how could I afford it?
Yeah.
And I found a way to make some more money so I could afford it. And I think sometimes we need to ask ourselves the other version of the questions that we're telling ourselves, because when we're living in lack, it'll affect, you know, how the things we do. The things we could do with our family, with our spouse, the things that we, you know, whether we're going on a getaway or taking a vacation or, you know, buying a book, you know, to strengthen our relationship or doing a course or, you know, going on our unique couples treasure hunt or, you know, doing any such thing. Because if we live in the state of believing that there isn't enough or we don't have enough or money doesn't belong to us and we have these recurring thoughts about all of these negative things about money, and that is how we're going to play with our life. Like there isn't enough, we don't have enough, and instead of living fulfilled lives and, you know, traveling and doing things with your spouse and growing your relationship and doing all these things, we live in the state where, oh well, we can't afford that. Instead of asking, how could we afford it?
I think for the longest we did that. When I mean the longest, it was for almost 8 years of our marriage. Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, but yet we were going to work paying just to pay bills.
We didn't even go on vacation.
Yeah.
And Miss Amanda said it, poverty mindset.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get out of there because we are originally from Arkansas, from small little country towns. We didn't know nothing about 401ks. We didn't know about saving. We didn't know about budgeting, credit, none of that. So when we got married and we moved to Texas, that's when God like showed us like, you can have whatever I said you can have. Like it's there, but you have to prepare yourselves for it. You have to get out of that poverty mindset. And like Linda said, how can I afford it? What do I need to do to be successful? What do I need to do to make it happen?
I think for me, when we first started actually living and seeing our money being put to work was when we took our first vacation, real vacation. We went to Nassau, Bahamas, and we was on a cruise, and it was like God gave me an epiphany. Like, you work hard. Do you see my creation? Why are you just working just to pay bills?
Oh,
No, you pay your tithes, you do what's right by me. Use your money in a way that will benefit not only you but your wife too and your family.
Yeah, that's good.
And that mindset of I can't do this, can't do that, it went right out the door. Like, man, we finna start living. We're not going to continue just to work and pay bills and work and pay bills. And once we got home from that cruise, it was like we had an eye-opening experience. Like, where is all this money coming from? Which it was already there. It was just we were blinded by the fact that, I can't go do this.
And
I
not
can't
handling
do
it. We didn't know how to
handle
handle the money properly and like be responsible. And you will have money to do other things. It's, if you be good stewards of what God has blessed you with. That's the take that I had on it. Yeah.
And one thing Johnny said that nobody has mentioned that I think is important as well. When you are dating, you need to have a lot of conversations prior to how you're going to handle things, what you do, what you don't do. But what he just mentioned that we hadn't mentioned today is about your tithe.
Yeah.
You get in a relationship and one of you believe in paying that tithe and the other one doesn't, you're in trouble. So you need to take care of.
That is good.
Before you get married. But I think we both tithe and we don't have a problem with that. But I believe, like you say, when you put your faith in what God can do for you, and you are being obedient, and people deserve things, like I think Dan is one of the best gifts of God that he created. And we have separate accounts. We know about them, but I'll save and save and save, and I have some money in there and some money there. And he loves to go fishing, and he kept saying, "Well, when I get some money, I'm going to get a truck. When I get some money, I'll get a truck." And that was 2015. So Father's Day 2015, I gave Papa him a brand new truck.
Right.
150. So I feel like, if we're obedient and we do what we need to do for each other, we can do things like that.
Yeah.
I agree with all you said. I think we need to change our attitude about money. Money, in our perspective, money is currency. It's nothing to be feared. Money is currency. It's nothing. We don't have to fear for a lack of money, because money is currency that's used in this kingdom. We know in God's kingdom there's another currency, but money is just currency to be used in this kingdom. One of the things that helped me is I had to change my attitude because I grew up in poverty. I grew up in the project. So in the project, everybody you want to hold on tight now. Hold on tight to what you have. And one thing I learned that a closed fist cannot receive anything. You have to live with an open hand. Because an open hand I can receive. Yeah. If I live with a closed fist, I can't receive anything if I'm just holding on tight to what I got. But I have to live with an open hand, especially when it comes to like us paying tithes, giving unto God. And I learned if I live with an open hand, if I open hand with God, I can receive. Not only do I give with an open hand, I can receive with an open hand. But with a closed fist, it's hard for me. I can't give or receive. So I changed my mindset. I think we have to change our mindset about money and about it's nothing to be feared, but it's just currency that we use in this kingdom, and have an open attitude, have an open hand and not a closed hand, and we can live. The scripture said, like my brother said, scripture said, God has given us freely all things to enjoy. He has given us freely all things to enjoy. So I think we should have that attitude about money. Money, like we said earlier, it can answer everything. But I have to have the right attitude about money. When I grew up, all I heard was money is the root of all evil. But I had to learn now that's a myth. Money is not the root of all evil. If money is the root, just give me all your evils. I take it. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money. It's my attitude about money that can cause it to be evil.
Yeah, that's good. You talking right?
We were talking. We both grew up with a poverty mindset, right? Because we grew up in poverty, and for the longest time, even after becoming a Christian, I continued to have a poverty mindset, meaning that I had to, the money that we was making, I had to make sure that we had a little bit set aside, but we didn't have anything else. It was because of how I viewed it, how I saw it.
Yeah.
And once I began, once God broke me of the poverty mindset, then I could begin to see, wow, money has a mission.
Yes.
And I can make my money work for me.
Yes.
And not me work for money.
Yes.
Right. And when you can see your money with a mission, giving your tithe, giving your offering, right? And God can do more with the 90% you have left than the 10% you want to hold on to. That was what I had to see.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And when I began to see that, then God began to open doors for us to see, or for me to see, what more we could do with the money that we had. Right. Not only were we able to pay our bills, but we were able to increase our giving. We were able to bless others. And it's not just the money that we have, the currency is not just for me, myself and I, but it's for me to do what God has called me to do. Right? It's money with a mission.
Money with a mission.
Definitely. I know one of my mentors says that money is your servant and you are the master.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
That just fits in perfectly. Use your money. Your money is there to fuel your dreams. So we mustn't look at give money so much power. No, money doesn't have that power. We direct the money to where it needs to go. So I'm still working on that. I see we have a question. We have a question. Are we going to put that up as well? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to put the question up, and then
you guys go ahead and take a shot at this one.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to read it?
Yeah. What advice do you give to couples who live paycheck to paycheck and not able to save or put aside an emergency fund because they are barely able to pay bills and eat?
Can I go give a crack at that one first?
Go ahead.
The first thing I would say to that is sit down with your spouse, evaluate all of your bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at both of your incomes, see what's coming in and see what is going out. Because we actually did that ourselves. We looked at everything that was coming in and everything that was going out. Our
money was there. We were just not
spending. We were spending it on like Netflix and eating out and all the unnecessary stuff that we were doing, and it was going out faster than it was coming in because we had all of these unnecessary things that we were spending our money. I'm not saying that you're unnecessarily spending your money, but that's what we were doing.
Yeah,
because we weren't being good stewards of our money.
Yeah.
I would agree, brother. I think that's great. I wouldn't add anything onto that to say that, like the sister said, the money is there, and most time you're probably not seeing it. But having a budget and having a financial plan will you'll be able to count up the costs and see where you stand financially. Then you'll be able to cut back on some things that you don't need necessarily, and and it'll give you a better idea of where you stand. So I like the fact you said that, you know, the money, I like my sister said, the money was there. And in most cases, the money is there. You just, when you don't have a budget or a plan, you don't see where it's going. And when you write it down, count up the cost and kind of see where everything is going, then you get that aha moment. Yeah, we can, you know, we don't need this. We can cut back on that. One thing we did, we did that, and we cut back on, we saw our cable bill. We said, well, that cable bill is outrageous. We don't watch all them channels. But we went from cable to YouTube TV, and it's much cheaper, and you still get the enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. And I'll just add this, going back early on in our relationship, we went through a time period where we were living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Because there was an overpayment of some funds that we received, and it was all taken back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. This was from a PCS move. That's a permanent change of station from one military installation to another, and they overpaid us. And when we got to the other military installation, they were taking that money back, and we were hit hard. I mean, you're talking to, we were specialists then, right? Yeah. 2 E4s, young enlisted soldiers making very little money. And we got hit very hard. And what we had to do was we had to sit down and count up that cost and say, this is the money that we got coming in. We know this is going out because they're going to come take that regardless. Mm-hmm. And we know we got to pay this bill, and this bill. What do we have left? And the one thing that the enemy tried to get us to do was to stop paying our tithes. And we said we would not stop paying our tithes. And we kept paying our tithes. We continued to live, and we may have had $10, $13 to last us throughout the month. But God made that $13 stretch because we stayed obedient to his word and giving our tithe. And when we came through that, boy, that was a weight lifted off our shoulders. But it was a lesson that God taught us through that, to never, ever take from him. Because once you take from him, or you still, I don't want to call it stealing, because it is stealing. But in robbing God, like the scripture says, then your barns are not going to be plentiful. Okay? Yeah. They're not. I'll leave it there.
And if I can share just a quick testimony that we went through, we had paid all of our bills. When I mean paid everything, we paid everything.
And that when we was living from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, we were living from paycheck to paycheck. But one thing we forgot was grocery. We paid all of our bills, but forgot about eating. And I was getting ready to go to work that night. And I'm like, wait a minute, we don't have any food. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. I took $5 to Kroger's, $5. Went to Kroger's, came home with hot dogs, chips, sodas, all of that, enough food to last for a week on $5. All because I prayed. And I was like, Lord, we've given, we've paid our bills, but we don't have anything to eat. Went to the store and literally came home with almost a week's worth of food off of $5.
That's awesome. Wow. That's awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. I like it. One thing I want to say to that couple is that if the couples that ask that question, if you are working, be thankful for what you have. Yeah. Thank God that you are working. But that's a start. And God never works with what you don't have. God always works with what you have, not what you don't have. Yes, so be thankful for that and begin to, like Brother Johnny said, begin to work on a budget and get a plan together and look at your finances and see where they're going. But be thankful and thank God for that you are working, that you do have a job.
Yeah, gratitude.
If I can add a number 3 to what they've already said. When you do your budget and compare your income and all of that, and if you see that you got, after everything, you did find some money, and maybe here's $20 or whatever, list your bills out from the highest to the lowest. On those highest, you pay your minimum every month. On that lowest one, you pay that minimum plus that extra that you found. And you keep doing that till you pay that one off. And then just say that the bill, the minimum was 10 and you found 20. So every month you're going to pay 30 until you pay it off. And the next bill is 50. So you're going to take that Once you pay that one off, you're going to take the 50 plus this 30 and pay 80 a month on that one.
Yep.
So you come all paid off. Been there,
Yep.
done that.
Mhm.
It works.
Yes, it does.
Amen. Amen. We've done that one.
Yeah, and I you know, I've run across the scripture, and I don't know whether the couple save or what, but in Philippians 4, I'm gonna read this quickly. Verse 12. I know what it is to be in need and what it is to have more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned this secret so that anywhere at any time I'm content, whether I'm full or hungry, whether I have too much or too little, I have the strength to face all conditions by the power that Christ gives me.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
Awesome. Like, what do you say? I know one thing I could say is that it doesn't last. And it doesn't last. So you might be in a state where you are financially strapped and things may not be, and you're living from paycheck to paycheck, but you don't have to stay in that situation. You don't have to stay stuck. Help is always available. Get that help, access that help. I heard earlier, cut back expenses. And yes, we definitely need to do that. Be thankful, be grateful. And we also need to look at increasing income. So it's we have to, sometimes when the bills I know about the bills being, more bills than bills than months, right?
Bills and money.
You have to get to the point where you kind of increase. Try to find ways, okay, how could I make this happen? Increase what you make. So that's definitely something. And like we said earlier too, and basically all of what we've been talking about is to change our mindset. We have to change our mindset and how we think about money, getting out of there is not enough, or I will never have enough, or because we'll be sabotaging ourselves thinking, oh, I don't have enough and I'm always going to be poor and I'm always going to be struggling. And so if we're saying this, if that's the narrative we have, that is what we are going to live out. So even though you start making a whole lot more money, you're still in the belief that, oh, I don't have enough. I'll never have enough. We're struggling. And, so I had to learn to get out of that as well, because, hey, how did you go from, maybe, let's say, I mean, it's called numbers. Let's say you went from maybe 1,000 and now you're to 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000. And then you're still thinking you're in the same position.
We thousandaires.
Right? You're not, like you grew. Something happened, something changed, right? Something changed. So don't think that you're stuck. Find ways to get help. Help is always available, and we always have to change our mindset. Because what you say to yourself matters. And as it relates to money, that will definitely affect what happens in our relationship and what we think is possible. So we always have to believe in, that, or at least, that's what I go with. So I just always believe in what's the possible. Like, how can I, not I can't do it, but how can I find a way to do it? So
that's good.
Yeah, we have to think along those lines as well.
Yes.
Hello, Will and Nakia. Thanks for joining us. Lynn, and all of you. We were having great conversation. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Talking about money and all these different things. It's like, gradually.
It was a great conversation, and I think all of us learned a lot. So for our viewing community, our viewing audience, you can go ahead and put the takeaways in the chat. If you have any more questions, you can also go ahead and put that in the chat.
Yes, we love hearing your comments today.
Yes, as we bring the conversation to an end, we're just gonna ask each of the couples just to leave a tip as it relates to money and couples. So we'll start with Thaddeus, and then Dan, and then Johnny. So you can just leave a tip for our viewing audience.
Before they start, like how we were talking about, like what's possible and what you could do. Sometimes we have to think about after you pay God, you're not really paying him, but after you return your tithes, right? Pay yourself first.
Exactly.
Right? Pay yourself first, and then guess what? You will have to figure out and you will find a way to make sure everything else is done. But sometimes we just go and do the opposite. But that is definitely something. So join us in the Unique Couples community. Go in our How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. We have some experts in there as well. They'll be talking about, what you need to do and how to make sure that you are managing your money effectively and making more. So go in there, join us. We have a 5-day challenge coming up. It's the How to Strengthen Your Marriage and Have the Marriage of Your Dreams, even if your spouse doesn't want to challenge. The link is in the description. Go ahead and join us for that. For those of you who are not in our How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group, what are you waiting for? Because if you're married and you love your spouse and you want to, hey, we're all about improving, right? We don't stay stuck. We don't stay at one position. We're always growing. So if you want to grow, join us in the club. Join us in the Facebook community, How to Strengthen Your Marriage. If you are having challenges in your relationship, you're still free to join us there as well. We do live trainings. So we have trainings in there. So go ahead and join us in that How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. We have a How I Love tracker. Make sure you get that. That will help you keep track of how you are loving your spouse on a daily basis. And then we also have one to let you see how you're keeping track of loving yourself, because that's something as well. Okay, how are you loving yourself? So go ahead, you could request it. How I Love tracker. Join us in the Facebook community. The link is in the description. Yes. Join us there. Help is always available, and we have some takeaways, right? We want to make sure that, hey, you get the help that you need. So don't think that you can't do it. I said all that to say this. Don't think that you can't do it. Have some fun with your spouse. Go on a Unique Couples treasure hunt. Go and get your treasure hunt ticket and be a part of the fun. Connect with your spouse on a different level. So go and get your Love is an Adventure treasure hunt ticket, or we're going to do our Love Leaves Clues treasure hunt soon, sometime later. So go ahead and register and be a part of the fun. Do not think lack, right? Think plenty. You can have it. And like that, you said, what? Have that open hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, have that open hand. Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead, Thaddeus.
What's your tip? What's your tip?
Okay, I don't want to give too many, but I'll give.
One.
Can I give?
Yeah.
2?
Give 2.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Communicate. That's the very first one. And I believe Deborah said it earlier. We must communicate with each other when we're entering into this relationship. Before we get married, make sure you have that conversation about how you do money and where you see yourselves financially. That's the first point. The second thing would be prioritize your money with the budget. That's the first. How it works.
I would say for couples that are expecting to be married, even for those that have been married, that you have those conversations about money, because everybody have expectations about money. So have those conversations about money, so you both are on the same page when it comes to how you're going to handle finances in your family, in your relationship, so that you can better you can get off on a good foot. Especially if you're planning to be married, have a conversation about how we're going to handle finances. We were talking earlier about are we going to have separate accounts? Are we going to have joint account? Have those conversations before you get married, so you can already have that in it. And another thing would be make sure you have the right attitude and mindset about money. Change your mindset and attitude about money.
Awesome.
You have one?
Okay.
One tip that I would like to give is for those couples who are engaged or dating now, and you're thinking about getting married, and you're not a couple where the parents are throwing this lavish wedding. Don't go into your marriage broke.
Yeah.
Think about that wedding.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, I only get married once, and I'm gonna have the most expensive gown. I'm gonna get a gown from overseas, from London, Paris. I gotta have this, gotta have that, and you you spend credit cards, you Amex out and all of this. And then it's like, do you realize how much we spent on the wedding? And you starting out broke. Think about that.
Yeah.
You talk about that before, come up with a budget, what's reasonable that we can handle that's not going to put us at a deficit starting out in our marriage, because we don't want to get stressed out trying to pay for that. We have other things that, we want to do with our married life.
Yeah.
And I thought about that.
I'm going to give one of the biggest things, I think, if you're getting married or if you're married, let's get away from saying what's mine is mine, what's yours is ours. A lot of people saying that. Planet. God said when, come together, we're one. So let's, get together, put our heads together, trust one another, and come together on our finances or whatever we have, and leave that out the door.
Yeah.
Or you put it into that marriage.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. That's really good. It's us now. No. I would say give. We're big givers.
Yeah, that's good.
God taught us that a long time. Give. You give. We can't outgive God.
No, that's good.
So give. Make sure that you give. If you're saved, if you're not saved, you're welcome to be saved. Jesus still accepting souls. So if it's anybody out there not saved, just consider getting to know Jesus Christ. But if you are, make sure that you tithe. Make sure that you are a giver. And I promise you, God will give you more than enough, even stuff that you don't even imagine that you have. And also your mindset. That's the biggest thing as well, other than giving, is you have to view money just like we talked about. You have to view it in a different way and come out of that poverty mindset. There's enough money for everyone. There's enough currency for everyone. And God gave you I believe God gave everyone a business vision. So just start praying and see what vision, what do you love? What's your passion? What do you love doing? If you don't like the jobs that you have, if you don't like working for a 9-to-5 job, it's something out there that you can do. There's plenty of stuff out there that you can do where you can be successful and you can be wealthy, you can live comfortable.
Okay, mine. I have two. I would say from your daily job. Think about this here. Your secondary and third stream of income. Don't just rely on your 9-to-5, like my wife just said.
Yeah.
Think about a business that you can create that's going to generate enough income. If something ever happened to that job, that second income will suffice for your household, or even the third, or even the fourth, whatever it is, to have enough generating income that comes in to substitute if one of the two of y'all gets sick or something happened. There's no income there to cover the cost of losing that job. The second thing that I would say is, once y'all have had the conversation about, what's coming in the house or the finances, think about this here: cash versus credit. Begin to look at, okay, how can we make our money work for us?
Yeah.
I watched this video one time where this guy said that he don't even own a debit card. Why? Because he pay all of his bills with his credit. And then that way he's making money from his credit that he's putting money right back on. So begin to look into that. Once you get to that stage, how can my money work for me instead of me working for my money?
That's good.
Yes. Awesome. A lot of great tips from you guys. I know the viewing audience, they appreciate it. Make sure you write down those tips. Make sure you write down your takeaways. It was an awesome conversation. Can our guest go ahead?
Deborah was saying something that earlier I didn't want to let slide. Love all the tips. I was kind of like busy writing them down. But Deborah said something about when we're single, we're planning for this wedding and we want to spend all this money and get all of these wonderful things. So this wedding, which is one day, I just want to encourage the couples. Listen, the most important part of this entire this journey is the marriage.
Mhm.
So if you're going to be spending anything, invest in your marriage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Invest in your marriage. People just always come with this Monday morning, what do we call it now?
Monday morning quarterback.
Yes, being Monday morning quarterbacks and talk about what they should have done with a relationship that went wrong or a marriage that went wrong. Don't be shouldn't have, couldn't have, and should have,
wouldn't
didn't have, wouldn't have. No, don't be that way. Do it now. Don't be regretting what you didn't do in a previous relationship. Be doing those things now. Yes, we know date nights are important. Do that now. Don't try to say, oh, I can't do it. Find a way to make the things happen. Work on your marriage. Make that the most important thing. Not just, spending for those of you who are, single, not just spending for that one day, for the wedding day, but making sure that you are mindful that marriage is for a lifetime. If you do it right, it will be for a lifetime, a happy lifetime.
Yes. So can our guests go ahead and tell our viewing audience how they can connect with you on social media? We'll start with Johnny and Tiffany, then Dan and Deborah, and then Thaddeus and Amanda.
Yes. So you guys can follow us on social media. Our ministry is I Am the Promise Ministries. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. We have a service every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So join us. We also have our apparel company, promise-apparelfw.com. Make sure you check out the merchandise. This is some of the merchandise. So make sure you guys go in there and check that out. You can find us on Instagram as well, or our website, and that's promise-apparelfw.com. Our personal pages, you can find me under Tiffany Clark, and you can find Johnny
Clark
under Johnny Clark. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah, and then we have one more email. If you're in the need of prayer or if you need anything concerning salvation, you can email us at thepromisemin@gmail.com. That's THEPromisemin@gmail.com as well.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, thank you. I have a platform, Build Your Best Life, with Coach Deborah D. Smith. And my platform is geared towards high school age and young adult males, showing them how to overcome obstacles in society and their personal lives in order to build their best lives. One of the things that I teach and I'm so passionate about is what we're talking about today is finances. I focus on 5 pillars, and finances are one of those, because a lot of basic principles, life principles, and biblical principles they used to teach in school, they used to teach at home, and we don't see a lot of that today. So I am thoroughly trying to get people to step up, and men especially, to assist our young men, not just to look at them, but to help them up. And you can find me on www.buildyourbestlife.org. I'm on all the social media links. And if you go to my webpage on the homepage, it has all the links. And if you click on them, it will take you directly to my pages: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And I deliver a blog every Monday. And if you go on my services, I do coaching, consultations, speaking, webinar speaking. And I wrote a book as well, Build Your Best Life. And it has all the basic principles as well. And you can find it on my website, and you get your autographed copy quickly if you go on my website. As well, if you like the Kindle version, Amazon.com. So thank you so much.
Okay, it's not done.
Yeah.
All right, with that, it's Amanda, and we started Total Grace Solutions, which is our business, and we do marriage and relationship coaching, and we also do mentoring or individual mentoring. So you can find us at totalgracesolutions.com. And this year, actually, in February, we released our very first book called A Cups Full of Grace. And it's a guide to gracious and attractive conversations to help you to enlighten, affirm, and encourage your relationship. And this book was birthed from podcasts and Facebook Lives that we did in 2021 during the pandemic. And we really believe that it's blessed quite a few people
Yes.
with the content and the information that's in there. You can purchase the book from our website at totalgracesolutions.com and click on Shop with Us and purchase your autographed signed copy of the book. Or as Deborah said, if you like the Kindle version, you can go to Amazon and order the book from Amazon for Kindle edition. You can also find us on Facebook, and we're under Thad and Amanda Randolph. On Twitter, we're Total Grace SOL, and on Instagram, we're Total Grace Solutions.
Awesome.
Yes. Get your copy of those books. Wonderful. And this is what I'm talking about, investing in your marriage. Yes, it might mean getting a book and reading it together, or if you have to read it yourself, go ahead and read it and share those tips. Yeah, go ahead and get those books. Connect with Thad and Amanda and Dan and Deborah and Johnny and Tiffany Clark. Tiffany is always repping her merchandise. So definitely connect. Like we said, help is always available. Make sure that you are getting the help that you need. Okay, go ahead, join us in the How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. We are having that challenge. You don't want to miss that. Whether you're happiest, maybe at a sad point in your relationship, trying to figure out if you have a relationship, you need to be a part of that 5-day How to Strengthen Your Marriage and have the marriage of your dreams. Even if your spouse doesn't want to challenge. So join us in the Facebook group. The link is in the description.
Yes.
Yeah.
The link is in the chat. It's in the description. Yes. So we want to thank our special guest for coming on this evening and sharing with our audience. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule and being here with us. We also want to thank our sponsors for sponsoring this program this evening. We have our Hair to Please, Party with Serenity, Freeport Insurance agents and brokers. We just want to thank you all. Style Me Pretty with Shadra, the Nail Lab Creation by Anna. We just want to thank all of our sponsors for the program this evening. So here at Unique Couples, we are building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families.
Definitely.
We love you guys. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow in the How to Strengthen Your Marriage group. Have a great evening.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye.